Hey guys, Addie here. I read Getting Ready for Marriage by Jim Burns and Doug Fields. This is a book about how to get ready for marriage, what to prepare for. Jim Burns and Doug Fields are both premarital counselors as well as marriage counselors, and they did a very, very great job of very eloquently explaining what to truly expect in marriage. This book talks about everything from finances to setting goals to conflict communication, sexuality and spiritual intimacy, as well as planning out the rest of your life together. So let's get started. I do believe that the information in this book does go hand in hand with our textbook, family communication. The main topic I feel really hit well with between each of the books together, was the chapters on sexuality. I feel that Jim and Doug talk a lot about what we read in our textbook from what we read a few weeks ago, in that sexuality is something that spouses need to be able to communicate with each other about what they want, what they expect, and most importantly, what they need from each other. And our textbook talks about a lot of the same thing, and so does this book. It hit a lot of hand-in-hand key concepts that just went very well together. The key concepts of this book that are relevant to me and my family would definitely have to be the chapter that hits more for me. This is more of a book about my future family, and as I'm getting ready for marriage, I'm just going to talk about how this related to me, was writing the chapter about writing your marriage script through goals, hopes, and expectations. So something that Jim and Doug talk about in this book is that most couples plan on every second of their wedding, and it's this beautiful ceremony that they plan everything out for, and yet they don't plan out the next 10 years of their lives together. They don't plan, how many years ahead they want kids, or when they want to get a dog, or those are big things, but even little things of just whatever it is that they want to plan for. They don't set goals. They just plan out this big wedding. Once the wedding's over with, then they maybe go on to do that. This book talks about how you need to start doing that now, how engaged, and even if you're already married, you need to go ahead and start setting those goals of what you want. You want to plan out your goals for the rest of your life, where you want to be in 10 years, where you want to be in 20 years. So this is something that I'm definitely going to implement in my engagement right now. Some techniques and strategies that are in this book to help improve a family. I believe that the chapter in here on conflict will really truly help save some marriages down the road. It gives 4 very crucial things about how to resolve conflict in a healthy way. And the first one, to resolve conflict in a healthy way, is by 1, being vulnerable with each other. The next one is by identifying the issue, focusing on the solution, and then apologizing. I think that these are great steps to help a family or a marriage resolve conflict. My overall reaction of this book, guys, this is a really great book. I really wish I would have found this sooner, as I am 44 days from tying the knot, and there are so many things I would have done a little differently in planning out this wedding and through the engagement, but I highly recommend this book. It was a very great book. I do agree with a lot of the author's premises. Actually, I would say all of the author's premises. Everything in this was great, from spending choices to if you need help, ask for it. Don't be afraid to talk openly with your spouse. Everything in this book I agree with, and I soaked it all in, took all of it to heart. The concept that was most helpful to me in understanding just how to move ahead with, my future spouse, was the chapter on in-laws. Guys, this chapter changed my entire viewpoint of how I should properly communicate to my in-laws and how to have a healthy relationship with them in the future. And that was what truly spoke to me. Overall, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting this book, even if you're not getting engaged. If you're dating, get this book and have your partner read this book too. It was